What would happen if you stepped on the scales tomorrow and they hadn't moved? How would you feel? Would you feel like you failed? Would you feel like all that hard work was for nothing? Because this is where I see loads of people get stuck. They let one number decide whether they are failing or whether they are winning. And I think that's a mistake. If you thought this, subscribe, follow along, and stick around for the rest of the video. Now, the scale is only one marker. Don't get me wrong, they're absolutely useful to pitch that trajectory of weight loss, to give us an idea about the direction the scales are moving in, but it's not the only one. Scales and physical weight are just one piece to the puzzle. And there are so many other ways that we can create wins, create success along the way. When we're thinking about progress in the gym, in life, we need to think about lots of things, a more holistic view, if you like, on things that are going to affect you. And obviously, if we do still want to lose weight, this is one of those markers, but weight loss isn't linear. It can fluctuate on a day-to-day and sometimes week-to-week basis as events, as life, as things get in the way, stress, work, emotions, hormones, everything like this will play a big role in this. So in order to look beyond this number, we need to ask ourselves questions like, are we stronger than we were a few months ago? Are we a different shape? Are we receiving compliments from friends, family, people nearest us that we've changed shape, we've lost weight visually in the face, or lost weight by changing the shape of our clothes, how our clothes fit, whether we're on a new belt loop? Are you getting to the gym more consistency and building these lifestyle habits into your life that you didn't have before? Are we eating a better quality of food? So straying away from less nutritious, more calorie dense food into higher nutrition, better micronutrient density, more vegetables, more fiber. Do you have more energy? Are you sleeping better? These are all fundamental habits that are going to help you build the foundations to create this weight loss, even if the scales haven't initially moved. And are you building routines that are sustainable? Like, is this something that you would like to build into your life going forwards? And this includes things like boundaries with your time. Are you setting better boundaries with your time? The things that you do, saying no to extra work, emails, things that are not contributing positively to your life, not just that number, that physical number on the scales. All of these are signs of progress. And all of these can lead to and build the foundations of weight loss down the line if this is a big goal. And this obviously depends on your starting position, your history, your relationship with food. This depends on where you are mentally and how ready you are to push towards weight loss, because it is a stressful and demanding process. We have to think about it. So sometimes it is or isn't the right time to push weight loss, even if weight loss is one of our goals long term. So having these markers for success is extremely important. I talk about this a lot with clients that we're onboarding. Sometimes the foundations come first. And one of the biggest mistakes that people make is forcing themselves into a deficit that they're not ready for, because they don't have that good relationship with food. They don't have a good idea about good quality of food. They don't understand tracking food, organizing food, and forcing themselves into a deficit creates this negative relationship, creates this lack of love for that process. It's more stressful. It can lead to binging. It leads to food being out of whack, and it can make the whole process a lot more stressful. Like, that lack of love for the process, that lack of enjoyment and gratitude for the things that we are doing along the way, like building that stronger body, being able to do more reps, being able to do exercises we weren't used to, being better with our time, is forgotten about because we're so hyper-focused on that single number. So if you're constantly swinging mentally between being really good and being really bad, usually the answer isn't just eat less or do more or be more aggressive with your deficit. We need to be in that position where we create other wins that are enjoying food, building a better relationship with food, enjoying training, building better consistency in our habits in life, and finding a routine that we can stick to, because these foundations are what are going to make body composition change or weight loss become a sustainable process down the line. And we may see small changes in this body composition change while we're taking all of these wins along the way. And honestly, this is where I use a lot of reflections with my clients, especially my online, my hybrid clients. We talk about what wins we can have along the way, what things we can tick off as successes that aren't just that scale number. What went well? What felt easier this week? What have we succeeded at? How was training? Did we get more reps? Did something feel easier? Did I show up when I didn't feel like it? These small reflections allow you to not overlook the progress that you've got just because of a number on the scales. Progress pictures itself are an amazing tool for this because we can see physical changes to the body, shape of face, shape around the shoulders, shape around the waist. We can use markers to see how we look square on, to the side, from behind. We can feel how clothes fit us as well and where they dig in, don't dig in, fit loosely. And depending on how much of a novice you are, it is entirely possible to gain weight while becoming leaner, or even just stay the same body weight as we build muscle mass and lean out at this time. When you're a novice, you will build muscle mass more readily. And if we're not super aggressive with the deficit, we will start to get this recomposition where muscle mass is built and body fat is lost at the same time, depending on how big we were in that first place. And this can be confusing because the scales might not move, but we might look and feel and perform completely differently as part of this process. One of my favorite exercises that I have done with some clients is sticky notes in a jar. Now, this is a physical representation of stacking up wins. We can see that jar becoming fuller as more notes go into the jar. It's an obvious physical representation of I've achieved this, 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 and this. And obviously, when we get to that point where that jar is full, we know that we've still turned up for ourselves. We've created wins that aren't scale related, whatever they may be. And you can read those back later to go, shit, I've done these things. And even the small wins that we're taking along the way make a big difference. And sometimes these wins can be overlooked until we start thinking about them and reflecting. So don't let one number decide how happy you're going to be that day. Don't let one number decide and define your progress. It doesn't, because the scale doesn't measure discipline, it doesn't measure habits, it doesn't measure strength, it doesn't measure how you feel. We need to be in that process where we chase the behaviors that allow us to lose weight, and the weight is just a marker of how that is happening. So if you found any of these ideas useful, any of this thought process has rung true with you, let me know in the comments which one you'll be giving a try. I'd love to hear what your most recent non-scale victory was. And if you enjoy these coaching conversations as well as my bodybuilding return to stage journey, don't forget to like, subscribe, follow along, and we will catch you next time on the next episode of Caffeine, Kilos, and Kilometres.